This weekend, this Friday, full moon. Do you go a bit weird when you get a full moon? Really? Do you? Okay, well think about this. Double whammy. Friday 13th as well. Check that out. But I tell you what, joining us is Doc Yates. He's going to be live right after this. Galaxy. Take me home to the country. So we'll come in live right after your song and introduce you to the world. I'll just let you know how many's online right now. There's 5,446,000 joining us.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's an average hour. It's about an average hour.
Crazy.
Yeah, believe me, I don't know how the hell that ever happened. We've been doing this for about 4 years, and we thought, we'd be lucky if we get a couple of hundred. And then we thought
that's wild.
We started thinking, we might possibly at this rate be able to get a couple of thousand. After 4 years, 5 million an hour is about average.
Wow. Congratulations to you, that's amazing.
And believe me, we are all about indie music, indie artists. It's all about the music, stuff like that. But I am going to ask you a couple of things about your business as well, if you know what I mean. I'll throw those in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Also, as I said about the music, it's I got as far as Four Fingers. Hometown after Four Fingers, and then Lonesome is the one we will kick off with.
Sure.
That's the one we'll leave with. Dwayne Watson, nice to have you along, my bro.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right now, guys, on Facebook, thank you for joining us. We're joined, would you believe, by a real doctor today, Doc Seth Yates. Looking forward to doing this interview. So, Doc, we'll just pop you through to the desk. Don't be shy, have some fun.
Can you hear me okay? Like the sound's good from your end?
Yeah, everything's perfect. But I tell you what,
perfect.
I don't mind if you give me a bit of stick. I'm a Kiwi.
He won't do that.
Hey, he's too pleasant, I bet you. Take me That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Glad to have everybody along this morning. Fluffed up on that, I really did. I just forgot to turn the mic on. Thanks for reminding me that you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and believe me, absolutely elated to be joined by the man himself, Dr. Seth Yates, and we're not going to be talking too much about medical things. We will get a bit in there. But in the meantime, it's all about the music. 15 after 11, 10 degrees downtown. Heading for a high, I reckon, of 15 degrees, but it is the weatherman's degree of 10. But he also said cloudy. It's really heavy cloudy outside at the moment. You get wet walking around in that cloudy. Believe me, I want to know, and a pleasure for you, for us to have you with us, my friend.
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
I'm really, really intrigued. I really am. But why does a talented artist like yourself want to be a naturopath?
Well, I started with naturopath. I didn't start singing until I was probably 30 years old. I never sang in my life.
I'm really fascinated about your profession. I really, really am. And believe me, I am going to ask you a few questions through this interview.
Yeah, sure.
I hope you don't mind. This is going to take about an hour to get through.
Yeah.
Putting up with an ugly old Kiwi like myself, that's a trauma in its own right. You might need to be able to seek some advice. But I got to ask you, Home to the Country, this is the kick-off song that we started for you. Where did the lyrics come from? How did this come about?
Oh, that song? I was just kind of thinking, I was kind of missing home a bit. Like, now I'm in Ottawa, but I grew up on a hobby farm in London, which is another town in Ontario here in Canada. And, I was just thinking about all the aspects that I missed about the home, like the farm growing up, and came up with that song.
I absolutely love it. The first time I heard it, I said, this is good music. When they bring it to me, normally I get to hear stuff by myself, and then, if I like it, yep, fine, we will go back and discuss it. If I don't, well, I'll just put it in the file and say we'll get around to it.
Yeah.
But I went to the production, I says, Home to the Country, Doc Yates. Tell me a bit about Doc Yates. And they went, listen, you're going to have to go and talk to Barbara because we've just got through working on this and we've added it to a number of shows. I says, that's a great idea. We have 16 hours of country on a Sunday that you are now in that file as well.
Okay.
Monday night, knowing that we were going to be doing an interview, they'll put you into the Galaxy artist file as well. And I've been playing you now for about a month on the breakfast show and getting huge responses from our audience. Believe me, they've been ringing out.
Awesome.
They want to know about Doc Yates. They really, really do. And believe me, it got to a point, one young lady from Cairns wanted to know so much about you. I says, listen, if you're looking for a new husband, you better have at least a brewery and a boat.
That's a bit of a hike.
Exactly. Well, it may happen one day. But at the same time, most of the questions were, and I've got to be honest with you, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, do you respond?
Yeah, so Facebook I'm pretty good at responding, and Instagram, Twitter, not so much. There's only like so much, so much time in a day to deal with all the social media. But Facebook I respond all the time, and it's Doc Yates Music.
Nice. Now,
if you just search Doc Yates, it'll come up. It'll come up.
Nice. Now, at the same time, website. Do you have a merch store?
Yeah.
Do you have a merch store?
Go to DocYates.com, and it has all the social media links on there too.
Nice. Now, can we buy your music on your website as well?
Yes, you can. But you know what I'm doing for a lot of the songs, as opposed to it's paid by share. So people can just go in there. There's a link. They get the song for free, and then they share it with other friends.
Nice. Absolutely brilliant, because believe me, we only have 4. Now, just wondering, are you going to be putting an EP together, or are you working on an album?
Yeah, so I'm working on a lot of stuff. Like I said, most of it comes down to timing. So I'm working on an album that's like a country rock gospel kind of combination. And then I've still got 2 more singles that are ready to come out, like, right away. And then, I don't know, for me it's all about the songwriting, so there's never a lack of songs. It's just a matter of finding time with the producers to get everything done.
Yeah, believe me, in your profession, I would find that the time must be very rare to be able to do anything musical. But, you've got 4 clinics. How do you find the time to be a musician?
Yeah, so the timing, it works well. So it's kind of my creative outlet. So when I'm done at work, I'll go home, spend time with the kids, put the kids to sleep, and then it's music time. Absolutely
stunning. And for the quality of this artist's work, believe me, I couldn't find the time to be able to be an artist as well as do this job. 4 clinics. Really? You must be Superman and really, really well time managed to be able to bring out the quality of this. Now, at the same time, Doc, I want to ask you, 4 fingers of whiskey. How many of these have you had before you had the lyrics for the song?
This one, was I was at the cabin with my dad, brother, and my buddy Nick, and it was a hunting season. We were just sitting around, and my buddy Nick is not a songwriter, and he was like, someone should write a song about, each shot of whiskey represents something. And I was like, okay. So we went out to our stands, and then by the time I came back from lunch, I was like, the song's done, I got it. So I was sitting in the woods by myself, staring at the trees, and then I wrote that song in probably a couple hours.
Nice. I tell you what though, and I've got to be honest with you, when I go to the pub and ask for a couple of fingers of whiskey, I mean those two. Yeah, I really
I'm going to be here too, so it fills up.
Yeah, exactly. And believe me, we want multiples of those, don't we? So Doc Yates, right here at Galaxy, here is 4 fingers of whiskey. Love it.
What's up with your ear?
How are you feeling there, Doc?
I'm doing great.
Nice. Yeah.
This is awesome. This is really cool.
Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of things about your business. Now, I know that you've been talking business all day and stuff like that, but I think it also shows our listeners the quality of the person you are within your music as well, if you know what I mean.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
by the way,
I am really impressed. Now, I just got to ask you though, do you write out scripts and do you do it in Latin?
Well, a lot of the herbs and stuff that I work with, it's always often in Latin. And then when patients ask for the name, they'll have to remember the common name. But otherwise, if I'm writing prescriptions for hormones and stuff, everything is English.
Yeah, fair enough too, believe me. But at the same time, do you have a pharmacy? Do you send people down to the pharmacy to go and get their meds and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a pharmacy that's just down the street and we do I always need a compounding pharmacy because I have to mix up in my office. For anything natural, we compound everything here. So the whole basement of the office now is basically a processing. So we've got all the mixers and encapsulators. So that's for everything natural. So I make all my own supplements now. I don't personally do it. I design them. Mm-hmm. And then I have for anything predominantly hormones, thyroid, estrogen, progesterone. Then I send people to the compounding pharmacy.
Nice. Because believe me, I was trying to get my head around it, thinking, local physicians around here, of course, they write out scripts and send you off down to the chemist. Do you know what I mean? I was trying to get my head around it, thinking, would a naturopath shop be the perfect pharmacy?
Yeah. I think I'm the only naturopath that I know that makes their own supplements. Like most people would just order them in, or they have like little online shops on their website now, so they can click on there and then have them sent to the patient's house.
Nice.
But,
yeah. Let's go back to the desk.
Sure.
Ow. Pointy. Ow.
Yeah.
I've just been shafted. Might have to go and see a doctor about it. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 26 after 11 o'clock, 10 degrees downtown, heading for that, well, the weatherman said 10 degrees. I disagree, I say 15 degrees anytime, right now, anytime, we'll take it. Tuesday, September the 10th. I've got Doc Yates cracking up in the background here. And an absolute pleasure to have him along, of course, 4 Fingers of Whiskey. We were discussing that, and I says I only like 2. You got to see that one. It's a visual one. It really, really is. By the way, Doc, I'm going to let you know that everything we do here, we'll give you a copy of. We're Facebook Live.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll convert over the Facebook Live over to YouTube so that you can do what everybody else does. Throw it in the bin when you get it there. You don't want to relive this experience, I'm sure. But at the same time, we'll send you a couple of crazy photos that we do for every artist. They put it on their wallpapers, show their friends. Don't do this with Kiwis. It's not healthy.
No, I've been looking forward to this because I've never had any. I never got to go to New Zealand before. My sister was there for a few months, and
okay.
Yeah, she loved it, and I've always just liked it. I like the accent.
Yeah, well, thank you. Accent? We have an accent?
Yes,
we have an accent.
Sorry, I guess I have an accent now and then.
Yeah, well, kinda. I'll have to show you, I'll have to get one of the staff to send you a little poster we have of how to speak Kiwi. You'll love it. You really will. You'll think we're nuts.
Hi, Gregory.
Well, we are. we do kind of do crazy stuff. Speaking of which, maybe this might be a good time to talk about this. Have you considered maybe doing a tour down under?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I have someone who helps like set it up, and if it was because that's a big that's a big flight to get all the equipment there. But yeah, if the opportunity came up and it would work, I wouldn't say no to any of it. That's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, we can take pretty much care of everything here in New Zealand, as far as all your staging goes, your back lines, all your equipment, stuff like that. Of course, you'd need to bring your own tools, but anything other than that, we can take care of it, right down to possibly getting you the visas and stuff like that. Easier to do from within the country than outside of it.
Interesting, okay.
Because Barbara is the manager of Aurora Entertainments, and that's what she does. She brings bands into the country.
Really?
Yeah. And,
okay.
Well, it's kind of a selfish thing. We kind of like to be able to try and get Kiwi artists on Kiwi stages in front of Kiwi audiences, but we need a few names, we need a few draw cards, and we need some interest from outside to be able to do this as well. So we kind of work hand in hand.
Nigel.
Same time, we might be able to do a contra where you may be doing something in the summertime over there where it's winter here right now. And, well, it's always nice to be able to prep some of our Kiwis and send them offshore and give them the international experience as well and get them on stages anywhere we can. So that's why we do it, literally, is to get bands here. And as I said, selfish, we like to get our Kiwis on Kiwi stages.
I think that's great. It's a great concept because I like how much you guys are supporting your local artists.
Oh, we support every indie artist as long as it's good. Literally.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good ones, that's for sure.
Well, we have a very selective group that makes decisions for me, I got to be honest with you. And they have one word, and they only say to me one word, image. Does it fit our image? And if it does, perfectly, we will do it. But we don't take sort of the bands that have been, still kind of garage bands. They're legends in their own backyard, if you know what I mean. But we do take very, very talented bands, much like yourself. Now, where did you get 4 Fingers of Whiskey recorded? Where was your studio?
Part of it was through a mic in my basement. And then when I was listening to that too, I think you had I have to listen to it again. I think you had the actual original version of that, eh?
I wouldn't know.
I have to. Yeah, if that's the case, I just recorded it just at a guy's place just down the street here in his basement. But if it's the new version, then I my vocals here, and I had to send to Calgary, a different city, and then they did it there.
You know,
But I swear, I couldn't really get through that. I think you had like the actual original. I'll send you both, and you can tell me.
yeah, do
I'd be
that.
happy to do that.
Do that because believe me, we would be happy to do the comparisons. But it's production. Production does all of that. They just send it through to me. I'm the one that makes everything look good. You know what I mean?
Looking good in this end.
I get the superstar job where I get to talk to superstars like yourself about their wonderful and extraordinary music. Now, I got to ask you, how long have you been a songwriter?
I don't know. I feel like I've always kind of thought in song and thought in like always creating little rhymes in my head, but I never actually wrote a song until I was almost 30. And then I never sang in front of anyone until I was 30, because I never, like, when I was a kid, I sang in the church choir, but there was 5 of us, and I was the only kid who wasn't allowed to hold a microphone, so I must have been pretty bad. So I taught myself to sing out in the shed.
Well, I could tell you a few stories about shower stuff. The only thing that gets turned on in my shower is the shower. But I got to be honest with you, I sing tenor, or maybe 12.
Okay.
Or maybe 12 miles away from anybody that can hear me. I wasn't allowed the microphone to sing in as a child either, believe me. And I was kicked out of the kitchen for playing the pots. Apparently I destroyed kitchenware like crazy when I was younger. So I didn't become an accomplished drummer, but of course being a roadie, you got to learn some sort of skills, don't you, while you're on the road?
Yeah.
You know, everything from stringing guitars to tuning pianos, would you believe, to doing the drums, everything like that, but I've never been confident enough to be able to do so. Having said that, you see, the reason why I asked you where you got your songs recorded, and especially Four Fingers, is I'm an engineer. Have been an engineer for about 30-odd something years, and worked in some of the most prestigious New Zealand recording studios, and worked with a lot of bands touring around the world and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I've got a lot of experience in the music industry. Now, the thing is, I couldn't fault your work. I really couldn't. I don't listen to music as a fan would. I listen to it as an engineer would. You break it down in its increments and figure it out. You know what I mean? I seriously could not fault your work anywhere. Just absolutely loved it. Really did.
Great. Thank you.
Just thought, if you'd done it at home, that's exceptionally good work. It really, really is. Because if it was done in a studio, I thought maybe you might be able to give me a plug and who the production team was.
Yeah, no, I think if the one that you have there, I think that all those vocals were just recorded in my basement, and just honestly, I think that might have been just with a 57 for a mic. Like, it wasn't even, I didn't even have a good mic for that one.
Good old
Yeah, I've upgraded the mic since then, but it came, you know what, and we'll play it soon, the Hometown. Those vocals were recorded with an old bullet harmonica mic.
Really? Okay.
So that gave it some of that grit.
You know, as I said, I break it down in its increments. I kind of picked up that it was a different mic. I really, really did. And I understand about a bullet mic. I really do. And good mics, though.
I'm Brian.
Yeah, no, they're great mics, but they have a very unique sound, and it came out nicely, yeah.
Exactly. You know, Barbara, you're dangerous with that thing, waving that around like that. Now, at the same time, Doc, we were discussing maybe getting you down under in New Zealand. I was thinking maybe about 4, maybe 5 shows here in New Zealand, and we could share you with Australia if you'd consider something like that. Maybe,
that'd be awesome.
Maybe half a dozen shows. We'll get you together with maybe another band or 2, so it makes it viable and attractive. Yeah. Having said that, Doc, and believe me, I know you're a doctor because we are going to talk about this, but let's be honest. Have you ever tried something out of the box? Do you do a few crazy things? Because I think every day you should scare yourself at least once, then you know you're alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Sorry, what?
A hoo-hoo grub, spelled H-U-H-U.
A hoo-hoo grub?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, good. Yeah, you must have heard of a caterpillar, right?
You don't eat them, do you? Is that part of this where this is going?
Yeah, exactly. You put the live body. This is like a double-decker bus to a mini. It's huge. If you know what a caterpillar is, this is like a caterpillar on steroids. It's big. It's white.
Okay.
It's white. It's got a black head. I will make sure Barbara sends
Oh,
you.
I swear I saw that on like a movie or something. The Crocodile Dundee, one of those?
Yeah, but he's Australian.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's a big thing there.
Yeah, well, we'll send you the instructional video, but I'll take it from me. You put the live body in your mouth, you rip off the head, don't eat the head, it's yucky. But when you do crunch down on it, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
No.
It is. It absolutely...
It would have to be. The only way that people would keep eating something as ugly as that was if it tasted really good, I guess.
Well, the indigenous folks of New Zealand called the Maori still do today. Eat these. Now, we have a thing in New Zealand called the Wild Foods Festivals. That's where you can get all sorts of creative and weird and wonderful things to eat, like deep-fried crickets. And I'm still looking for the...
That I want to... Yeah, I would try that. I would definitely want to try the crickets, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I'm still looking for the store that has women dipped in chocolate. I really am. I've been going there for years. You see, down the west coast of the South Island, where I was brought up, just a few kilometres from the little town I was brought up in, is a place called Hokitika, where the Wild Foods do have this festival. It is wonderful down there. Amazing. Got to wonder sometimes what you put in your mouth, but never mind. We've all done this from childhood, haven't we? You experiment when you're a kid. Everything goes in your mouth. These days, it's just a matter of mind.
Yeah, no, I remember when I had a job cleaning out pig barns once as a summer job, and one of the guys paid me $10 to eat this huge moth. And it didn't taste like peanut butter on the inside, that's for sure, but... Yeah.
Yay! Well, he's up for that. That's one good thing. At least...
yeah, I'm good to go.
Well, Barbara, we could always take him down to Queenstown, down the bottom of the South Island, where all the superstars from around the world seem to congregate and want to be with Shania Twain. And I don't know, Barbara, what do you reckon? We'll throw him off a bridge.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I knew you would agree. We have a thing here in New Zealand, my friend, called bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in having a few, let's make a human yo-yo out of you. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't know about that. You know what? Like, I'll be 100% honest. I used to be, when it comes to, like, that type of, like, eating bugs is one thing. But now I'm running these offices and I have like little mouths at home that I gotta feed. I'm actually kind of nervous about getting injured because like it's not just me that gets hurt anymore. That's the problem. Like I never used to think about that, but having kids kind of made me change me a bit that way.
Look at it this way, and believe me, I can understand that that's a good out, actually. That is a good out. But I will do exactly what you will do, but you'll do it after me. How's that? I'll go and do the bungee first.
Okay, yeah. No, stop. Do it all the time. Like, I was just playing up recently, and they asked me, I had the opportunity to skydive into the festival. And I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. And then I was like, then my wife was like, well, what if you injure your foot and you can't walk? And then I was like, oh, I don't know.
You've got a voice in your head as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do it. My wife's voice is in my head.
Yeah, well, literally I do. Because she gives me...
She's one good west in my brain.
But, I did say to you, do something every day that scares you. I will come up with something every day that will scare the hell out of you. I tell you what, your wife will be doubling down on life insurance by the time you even consider coming here. Literally. But at the same time, having said that... and I hope you're going to bring your wife with you, of course, because Barbara needs somebody to go shopping with.
She loves traveling, so.
Nice. So we'll take care of the wife. Don't worry about her. Worry about me. I'm the mischievous one. I really am. You spoke about skydiving. I'm actually a skydiver. I have a membership to a club very, very close to us that I
Wow.
take advantage of as many times as I can. Normally, of course, in the summertime, not in the wintertime, not so good then. Crosswinds and stuff get blown out to the lake. But we could do that if you would like to do that as well. But more importantly, have you ever heard of Lord of the Rings?
It's just,
I'm sorry?
yeah, I didn't know what you said. Say that again.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yeah, I've seen all of them, yeah.
Okay, well, about an hour and a half's drive from where we are right now is actually where the set of Middle-earth Hobbiton is. So we could take in that experience as well, and believe me, it's an experience worthwhile. And I think your wife would absolutely have no problems right there, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's scary. That just sounds awesome.
It really
Yeah,
is.
no, I totally forgot that they filmed all that down in New Zealand. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, so Peter Blake, sorry, Peter Blake. So Peter, he is a good friend of Galaxy's, and believe me, yeah, we'll even try and work something out where we can get to meet the director. Would you believe many, many years ago, here's something out of the bag. He went to the same university I went to. He was just a couple of years older, but I knew him down there. So, yeah, he'll be disappointed I'm still alive, I'm sure. Having said that, though, have you ever heard of a Zorb?
I'm sorry, have I been to a resort?
A Zorb, Z-O-R-B, Z-O-R-B.
No, I'm not familiar with that term.
Okay, this is a big round ball. It's clear. And you need a few of these before you get in it, and then we'll push you down the hill. Much like...
Oh, like a hamster ball, basically.
Yeah, but it's human Skittles, because we'll put people in front of you to be able to aim for.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that on like a gladiator show once where they had to like run in those things.
Yeah, now...
well, you guys have all the action down there.
Of course we do. We we're so far under. We got to invent stuff down here to amuse ourselves. We really do, and we can come up with some really weird and wacky stuff to do. Literally, if you're into doing the bungee jump down in Queenstown, which is absolutely spectacular. It really, really is. We'll take you to Auckland. We could always throw you off the roof of the casino there as well. They do a bungee straight off the building. It's really classy watching this building going past you like crazy. It really is. But that's a different kind of bungee, I've got to be honest. You really, really don't have the chance of getting as hurt as you do down in Queenstown. That's the one, you see. You need to be... and you're not Australian. We'll attach the bungee. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
But having said that, being in Auckland as well, we'll take you out for a dinner on one of the boats going out through the Auckland Harbour and a few wines, stuff like that. Absolutely spectacular backdrop. It really, really is.
No, that's the big thing my sister said about everything in New Zealand was that she said it was the most beautiful place she's ever been.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, we've got to compete with cities like yourself and countries like yourself. Canada's a beautiful place.
It's beautiful, but the winters are long.
Yeah. No, we don't like winter, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Ottawa. I like, if you're gonna have winter, you might as well have a good winter that you can actually do something with when you get lots of snow, and we get it. We get lots of it.
We had the local police going down through all the major highways in Canada, getting in touch with us. Your last winter, to be very honest with you, letting us know what the road conditions were. Apparently, now check this out, one of the truckie, but one of the truckies there had come to a mishap, and Galaxy was playing on his radio. So she thought, I'm going back to the office, I'm going to have a chat to the bosses. They got in touch with us and asked us if we would do a traffic thing because they think all the truckies over there were listening to us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's amazing. You guys are everywhere.
Yeah, believe me, 62 countries, 94 cities are tuned in right now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know. What's your secret sauce? How did you get so... How did you do that? There's so many internet stations out there that have like a couple hundred fans, and you guys are killing it.
We started talking to indie artists and becoming friends with indie artists, playing their music, promoting them, and before you know it, they're telling their 2 friends who are telling 25 friends, which is now just gone absolutely crazy. It really, really is. And believe me, we've had some absolute huge people that we've interviewed, signed, unsigned, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the music and the artist at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I want to talk to you now about, you've heard about my hometown and my home country. Tell me about Hometown. Where did the lyrics come from?
Yeah. Hometown was the one that I said most songs I usually write in 15 minutes to an hour. That one took like a couple of years because I was writing a song about my hometown. And then we had a girl that got abducted. And that was big. It was really big, bad news. So as I was writing the song, I was like, well, that is going in the song. And then the song sat. And then we started having massive problems with teen suicides and then factoring that. Like, the town was really hurting for a bit. And all those things just kind of started building into the song. And then, and that's what it was about. Because Woodstock, it's a really great town, but and I feel like growing up there, you kind of had rose-colored sunglasses on because you were just used to it. And then, but then, I don't know. I feel like all the news that was coming out about it was just only bad news. And I was like, we need a good song here for this town.
You know, I absolutely agree with you. Didn't know about the background of that, and I've got something I'm going to tell you about in today's news that we have here while we're playing this. But believe me, I play this, I get so many requests for this in the breakfast show, and believe me, I think it's about 1,733 requests to date since we've been playing it. So it is getting a lot of attention. It really, really is right here at Galaxy. So Doc Seth Yates, right here at Galaxy, here is Hometown. It's hot though.
Not that hot.
I'm sweating.
Hi, Sean.
Sean's joined us.
That's cool that you did so much work at all that engineering. I've always wanted to learn more about that.
Oh, bro. I started my career when I was 5, literally putting a couple of stereos together, and I've never looked back.
Hi, Google.
Something went real with
Hi, Janice. Hi, Nigel.
I've always been interested in music. Knowing that I was never going to be a star or get on the stage myself as far as a singer or anything like that goes, I just wanted to be able to find out how to make music sound better. You know what I mean? And that was my hook. I wanted to be able to get involved in it. Unfortunately, I ended up more in radio and in professional radio at some of the biggest radio stations in the country. Straight out of university, of all things, I had no shot. I was straight right to the top. And that was not by design, it was by the guy who sponsored me, was actually New Zealand's #1 DJ, and I had no idea. I really didn't. But being a DJ and sitting in an office and watching all the pretty boats going up the harbour and everything like that is all well and good, but I wanted to get down on the ground and find out how the music was made.
Yeah.
So I went to a recording studio, told them who I was. They told me to F off pretty quickly. You know what I mean? But then I started working with bands in nightclubs, and I started to get to know all of these people that had recording studios, and before you know it, I was working in some of the most prestigious recording studios in the country. So
that's cool. No, it's something I'm trying to teach myself and learn more when I have time, because there's just so much you can do with it. Like
exactly.
From a laptop.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Believe me, a laptop is today's studio that we dreamt of, 30 years ago? You know what I mean?
And that's the craziest part about it. But the thing is still, even with the best equipment, there's still, it's the ear. You can't train your ear.
Exactly. Let's go back to the desk, bro. Yep, got it. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and joined, of course, absolutely honoured to be joined by Doc Yates coming out of Ottawa in Canada. And believe me, Doc, I want to talk to you about being a naturopath and everything about it very, very, very shortly. But at the same time, I was looking through your influences, and the first thing that stood out to me is the Black Keys. Now, I would not have picked it.
Yeah, no, for me, the Black Keys is based off old blues, and it's so pronounced, and that's the music I really like, is old blues, like Earl Burnside or something like that, or Junior Kimball. If I'm working, that's what I'm listening to, and that's what I feel it's that old music that influences my sound a lot more than just like listening to a country song.
You know, I get that now. I really, really do. Because when I was reading through all of this, these screeds, and believe me, I get a lot of information from my team. They really do they outdo themselves. They really, really do. And I was reading this, and I thought, because I get Eddie Vedder, and I get Sunhouse and Junior. I understand that, but it was just the Black Keys that stood out for me. I thought, now that is cool. I really, really do agree with that. I do. Now, at the same time, you grew up in the country on a hobby farm just out of Woodstock. Of course, your parents would remember the great Woodstock.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. My parents went out not the Woodstock, not the Woodstock. This is just Woodstock. This is Woodstock, Canada.
Yeah, I was going to say, now, when did they shift Woodstock to Woodstock? Because, what, 50 years ago? just 50 years ago, the great event.
50 years this year, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary on it?
Nope.
I recommend it. I really, really do. It tells you stuff we never really ever saw before. I mean, we all knew about the Jimi Hendrixes and the Joe Cockers and all of those, and the emulation and what a feat it was and all that sort of stuff. But this gives you the backstage look at it and the realistics of it. Believe me, they didn't even have a stage up. When the crowds were rocking on in, they still were to put up the fences. They had no control, absolutely no control at all.
That's crazy. I couldn't even that. Well, I don't think something like that would ever happen now if something was so totally regulated.
Well, no, I don't think so either, to be very honest with you. But don't forget, it was that generation's youth protesting pretty much quite simply by voting with their bodies and their feet, by going to this event. They were told not to. In the Vietnam era, remember, everybody didn't want the Vietnam era, and the whole country got behind that. That's missing today.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's I don't know, well, more subdued.
Yeah, and 400,000 people, they were only expecting 100 at the most. And of course they weren't prepared. They really weren't. They didn't have doctors. And believe me, the army came in with about 40-odd doctors there. No food. So the local township got together and donated them all their food, helped them out through the weekend. It absolutely saved the day.
Crazy. Well, I should just watch that. How long did it last for?
3 days.
That was it?
Yeah. And
okay. I thought...
It not only created history, it changed people's way of looking at music and holding events for the rest of the world, if you know what I mean. So it really made a huge impact. But those guys went bankrupt.
Oh.
Everybody that put everything into it, and they put 3 years worth of work into it just to get to that point. But they, as I said, were so unprepared. They didn't expect that kind of crowd. So believe me, no money was made. Wow. They couldn't control the crowd, so of course they couldn't sell or take in tickets, anything like that.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
That's why the big comment, if you might remember, was it's a free concert from now on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the concert hadn't even started when he was saying that.
Okay, yeah, no, I have to watch that documentary because I didn't know anything about that, to be honest.
Yeah, please, have a look at it. It is well worth the time, it really is. Now, tell me, Doc, being a naturopath, why did you become a naturopath?
Well, I grew up like a medical family, so my mom's a nurse, my dad's a veterinarian, and I don't know, I've never liked, even when I was a kid, like, my mom would say, take this medicine. I just didn't like taking medicine.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field, and so once I learned what naturopathic was, I was all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And believe me, a couple of my staff members said to me, of course, the legalisation of cannabis over there now. What's your view on that? What is your view on that?
Well, there's definitely a lot of benefits that I see for patients. There's definitely a lot of concerns at the same time, like in terms of driving. And, they don't always talk about, but I've seen cases where, the side effects definitely outweigh the benefits. Especially, it's harder to predict. It's harder to kind of regulate. Like, ideally, from what the studies are showing, kids shouldn't really be using it until they're 25 in terms of the developing brain, but they didn't know how to put that in, so now it's still, like, younger, like 18, 19, so, I don't know, like, there's definitely good and there's bad. I don't know if it's very gray to me, to be honest.
The reason why I ask that, my friend, is that New Zealand is considering maybe not decriminalising or legalising it, but under a medical situation, much like Canada did, if you know what I mean. And we are looking at it as a medical thing here in New Zealand right now.
I think that's a good way to start, to be honest, because I do see a lot of benefits to it, and in terms of cancer patients with anxiety, and the side effect profile I'm seeing for that compared to a lot of anti-anxiety drugs and antidepressants, it's way better.
Got to agree with you. I really do. Not that I use it myself in any way, shape or form, but there's no harm in doing a little research and finding out a bit more, and especially coming from somebody like yourself, for instance. It's always nice to have an opinion on an educated level. It really is. Having said that, we are having not only a New Zealand epidemic, but a global epidemic right now with the measles. Now, what's your view on inoculation?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely not opposed to inoculation. I feel like, and this is something I saw from the talk from an immunologist, I feel like it would be better to rework the timing of some of the schedules. But doing so much injecting before the immune system is properly developed, that you won't always get the full benefit, but you will be getting some of the side effects from it. So it's all about, everything comes down to timing. And I also feel like I'm uncertain as to why the number of inoculations have gone up so dramatically compared to the time when I was even a kid. Like, it's more than doubled.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Doc. Right now here in New Zealand, there is over 1,000 cases of the measles. It's gone completely out of control. How do we bring that back again? How do we make people safe and healthy?
Okay. Well, did they say anything about the people that are infected there? Like, what percentage of them are vaccinated and unvaccinated? Did they know all those stats?
None of these are vaccinated.
Oh, they're all unvaccinated. So you guys have a large population of unvaccinated people down there.
Yes.
So the thing is, like, in terms of finding the resources, like my dad, like, he had measles growing up, and he was just part of growing up at that point. So it is something that kind of self-limiting in the high majority of cases. But if you look at a lot of that, that's where the old naturopathic literature is interesting, because all the old stuff was before they even had vaccines. So, like, this is how you treat, typhoid. This is how you typhus. This is how you do smallpox. So there is old treatments for all of those things. And herbal therapies for it. But obviously prevention is ideal.
Absolutely. And believe me, these days, I think the modern mum doesn't want to see little darling getting a nasty little needle stuck. But back in my day, and I got to be honest, I've got a couple of moons on you, my friend. I think I do. But back in my day at school, we had no option. It happened. They did tests. They gave us the injections. They sent us home with a nice little lolly and a little piece of paper saying that this is what they've done to the kids. None of us actually really came down to anything like what is happening in New Zealand. And it's not only happening in New Zealand. Of course, don't forget, people get on planes and go overseas, and before you know it, now it's becoming, it's an ecological thing around the world, So how do we prevent this from really taking hold in the world? Should we get our people instantly vaccinated right now? Should we go ahead and do that?
I have to admit, I'm not, and I know they do that in California, I'm not in favor of, like, mandatory really anything. I like people that have the freedom of choice. It's just realize that every choice you make, either way, there's consequences. And that's the hardest part, is it? Because I have seen both sides. Like, I've seen really bad reactions in patients to vaccines, but I've seen people who weren't vaccinated and got sick from it. So, either way, it's a decision that they have to, try to educate themselves on and deal with those consequences.
Well, we have a common thing here, my friend, and I'm going to be honest with you. We have a thing here where we say, go and get your flu shot. Now, we as soon as you get it, you got the flu. What the heck? Why would you do that to yourself? Don't do it. So people are sort of in New Zealand have looked at the same thing as far as the measles go. You know what I mean? Don't want to go and get the shot because I don't want to, Anyway, we kind of recommend that people do go and get their children vaccinated. We really, really do, because we want the little darlings to come up safe and healthy, don't we?
Well, that's what I said that I was just talking about earlier. There's that risk-benefit. Like, getting the flu for an average person, not a big deal. Getting, meningitis, really big deal. Really, really big deal. So that's where you've got to, pick your battles.
Exactly. Now, at the same time, tell me, how do you achieve chi? Now, I know you have a specialty in this, and I was looking at this and I went, chi. Nice. Tell me about all your specialties that you come into to be able to get to a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Oh! Well, practice what you, for me, it's all about practicing what I preach. Like, I've got the knowledge, because this is what I work with all day. It's diet, nutrition, exercise, herbal therapies. So, but it's just putting it into practice, and I feel, this is something I don't always just like say directly with patients, but the mental state of people gotta chill out. Like, you can see people, they're taking all the vitamins, they're doing the supplements, but they're doing it from an anxious standpoint. Like, one little thing, they're so uptight about everything, they freak out. And I think the mental state is just as important. Like, you've got to do it because it's good for you. Enjoy the process. If you don't do it every single day, it's okay. Like, it's all about balance.
I love that. I really do. You don't have to do it every single day, but give it a go. You might like it. Absolutely. And I back that. I endorse that 100%. And believe me, I'm the first person to say people should do that. I work about 18 hours a day. I've got to be honest with you. I get to work maybe 1:30, 2:30 in the morning. I might be still here at 10, 11 o'clock at night some nights, if you know what I mean. So it's all about putting it in. It's just getting that mental state afterwards, learning to relax, because when I go home, I'm like wound up like a spring. You know what I mean? And just learning to be able to manage the downtime away from work and learning to turn off my phone, for instance. Now, this is something new. I've got to be honest with you, Doc. For a couple of years now, I didn't have a phone simply because when I leave work, I'm a private guy. I go home, spend my time with my family, turn off the world, and that's me. I had a Barbara. She used to do all Facebook stuff, all the internet stuff, everything like that. Well, up until it got too big, just a couple of weeks ago, she comes to me and she goes, "Here, take a phone. You're still up. Go and deal with it." She's had enough, really. So believe me, it's being able to manage that period of time when you're away from work, away from stress, turning things into basically a private time with your family and everybody or your loved ones around you.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel when I go home, is to be able to try and unwind, is to be able to just get away from the world, not answer the phone, not do anything, just be in that loving environment, if you know what I mean. I think that's a good first step, don't you?
I think that's great, and what I've been doing in the past 6 months that I've been incorporating is that from Friday night sunset to Saturday night sunset, no phone, no post, no work, no patient calls. I don't even like, you know, I don't even play a song on my guitar unless it's like a relaxing song. Like, I'm taking it to that level. But you know what? Since I've been doing it, by the time Monday rolls around, like, I feel like $1 million. Like, unplugging yourself makes a huge difference.
You know, I get that. I get that. Exactly that. And that's why I say to you, when I go home, I just switch everything off, literally. Unfortunately, I work 8 days a week. You know, out of all 7, there's never enough time. I've got to put in more time.
Yeah, that's impressive, yeah.
It really is. But at the same time, we like to be able to build, if you know what I mean, on the business that we've started and be able to expand everywhere. And you were saying this is how we get, you know, how did we get our listenership and stuff like that? Basically, hard work. 2 words, hard work. Is
100%, yeah. But I gotta find that balance, because I've seen a lot of people work themselves to the grave, and at the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it at the end.
Exactly. Now, I know that you like to build stuff as well. Now, tell me, 4 clinics, my friend, that's a lot of construction right there.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 of the buildings are mine, 2 of them I rent, so I don't have to build everything. But the first building, I had to do most of the work myself. I bought this old house to convert into an office, and I was like, cool, I'm going to set up a clinic. And then the building inspector came, and he was like, well, you got to get the permit. I'm like, no, it's okay, it's actually zoned commercial. And he's like, yeah, the property is, the building is not. You have to take that house and bring it up to the same code as like an apartment building. And then he's like, here's the quote for me to do it. And it was something like $150,000. And I had spent everything I had on just the down payment. So I had to rebuild everything. So now I've done it so much that I can build anything. Like, I built all, yeah. That's, now my wife, she has the high expectations. So I've got a kitchen in the process that I'm going to have to start working on now too, because
you know something, a kitchen, my friend, that is the most useless item in an American home.
Yeah, everybody's eating out anyway, so.
Well, it is. Everybody eats out in America, apparently. So, you know, why would you have a kitchen?
Yeah.
You know, it's a place, a place to hold your ice cubes and light candles. But having said that, my friend, I can relate to you having to build stuff, because we've just moved buildings ourselves from one we were renting to one now we own, if you know what I mean. It's taken us a number of months to be able to do so, but building stuff is all about it, and we love to be able to build relationships, stuff like that. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
With relationships also comes friends, new friends, you know, undiscovered friends, everything like that. And we have time for everybody. We really, really do. But at the same time, my friend, I want to know what made Lonesome.
Oh, that one. So Lonesome, like, yeah, not about me. My relationship, everything's good. Put that out there. But I had some friends. I don't know. I feel like in the office, like, things come in waves. It's like, everyone has like a sore neck. Everyone's got a sore back. Now everyone's got eczema. And I just had all these patients that are all super stressed out, and all of them were going through divorces. And then I had friends and family going through divorces. And part of me when I'm writing songs is I just kind of like imagine, like, what would it actually feel like to be going through that? And if so, like, how do I think I would respond? And that's where that song came from. You know, so I was just kind of imagining myself in someone's shoes, and then and how would I be able to handle it, if I could handle it? Because I don't know if I could.
You know, I've just had a wonderful business idea. You're going through all these patients that are going through divorces. What say I set up across the hall a dating agency, and just down the hall we'll put in a lawyer's, and we'll just recycle these people over and over again.
I guess that those all do go hand in hand, yeah. I don't know how I want the lawyers in the mix. I don't know. Anytime my patients tell me about it, it feels like they just complicated the mix. Complicated. But I like the dating agency part of it. That's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. Well, you need lawyers down there just to be sure, but at the same time, you could prescribe a little dating mix, and I could always prescribe going back to the doctors to get more prescriptions, and of course somewhere along the way the lawyer's going to get involved. You can guarantee that. So we'll be millionaires in the first couple of months, I tell you. I love that.
Isn't there a song about that? Have a company and make misery or something?
Yes, there is actually. There really is. But right now, right here at Galaxy 107 FM, talking live, of course, to Doc Yates, the man himself. Here he is with Lonesome. I reckon that's a great idea.
Yeah. We have quite a few Facebookers today.
Do we? Who's online with us this morning?
Dwayne, Jeff,
My brother man.
Gregory Old, Nigel Macy, who's my son's friend in Perth,
Okay.
Janice Dell, who is married to my cousin Brian.
Now, you mentioned Gregory Old. Gregory, I saw a photo of you sitting on a Harley. Beautiful. Absolutely
We've got
stunning.
Brock Young.
Nice to have you with us too, by the way.
And Move Penny, and Cheryl, and Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
Dennis has joined us.
Yeah,
from
and
the
Robert
Matt
Gillies.
Starsley band.
Hi. Meet
Brilliant,
Doc.
brilliant. Yeah, meet Doc. Now, Doc, are you okay there, my friend?
Yeah, how's it going?
Nice. So we're going to wrap it up from here, but don't go anywhere just yet, because as I said to you, we have a lot of people go through our website and tune in. Strangely enough, Doc, they don't just live stream us, they get nosy and go and have a look through our page. Gosh, I feel like one of the most oogled people in the world, I've got to be honest with you. But what we do is a bit of a shout out, which is basically very, very simple. It's like, hi, I'm Doc Yates from da-da-da-da-da, and then we put that on the website and people go and
Okay, cool.
They go and look, and before you know it, they have started to research you, everything like that, and you will have another 5,000 Facebook friends.
And you have all
Wow.
these new,
It's happened in the
and
past.
you have all
It
these
has.
new patients.
We had a young girl coming, I think, out of New York, Taylor X. Yep, and we did an interview with her, and we says to her, what's your Facebook and da-da-da-da-da. Then she gets back to us about a week later, and she goes, I've got 5,000 new Facebook friends. Is that your fault? And we went, hell yes, of course it is. What do you expect? Whether it was or not, hey, we'll take it. Absolutely. But Doc, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm going to ask you next whether you there's still a bit of summer there. Are you doing any live stuff? Are you doing any festivals, gigs, stuff like that at the moment?
Well, festival season just kind of finished up here.
So, okay.
And then right now I'm kind of getting back into some more recording and getting that built in.
Nice. Okay, we'll go back to the desk because I want to actually know about that. Hold on.
Sure.
Close up.
Mark wants to change that system. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 15 after 12 o'clock, gone over, I know, but what the heck, I'm enjoying myself. It is 11 degrees downtown. We're going past the weatherman, getting close, scarily close to Barbara's prediction of 12, to be very honest with you. Can't have that. Tuesday, September the 10th, and joined, coming out of Canada this afternoon now, of course, by Doc Seth Yates. And thank you to everybody that's joining us today on Facebook. Nice to have Gregory Old and even Dwayne Watson's joining us. Absolute legend in the music industry. He really is, But at the same time, Doc, I'm just going to ask you, now that winter is fast coming upon us, and we have a number of songs of yours here, are you looking at putting an album together, and can we have a copy?
Oh, I'll send you everything as it comes out, 100%. So I'm working on an album right now, like I said, it's like a country rock gospel album. But then I'm also been working on trying to collect all those other singles that are more just straight country rock, and then get them accumulated together. So as long as I can keep nailing down time with my producers, then we'll keep them pumping out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, at the same time, I wouldn't mind saying, how about sending us a few hard copies? We could do a giveaway to our listeners.
Okay.
Keep Doc Yates rolling here at Galaxy. Even if you got a T-shirt, you never know who might be watching right now. In Prairie States, well, La Prairie States, I've got to be honest with you, it's a subliminal thing. People watching... Yeah, it's all about the promotions, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So if you got a few spare shirts or something like that, toss them in, please, and we would be honoured to wear them while we're doing these interviews. And of course, people absolutely see this, and before you know it, they want to go to merch stores everywhere. Concerning, especially the Prairie States, lovely band, brilliant band, and it works. It really, really does. At the same time.
Yeah, no, I'll get that. I'll get that together, and I'll send you a couple of the Doc Yates 4 Fingers Whiskey flasks as well.
Awesome.
For an 18-hour day.
Awesome. Send me a half a dozen of those just for me alone. Believe me, I will have them online. I tell you what. Here's one for you. I was talking to a band not so long ago. A band called High South.
Oh!
Now, these guys are brilliant. They really are brilliant, Doc. But this is what they sent me.
Oh, is that a harmonica with their own case? That's wicked.
That's the C harp, and it actually does have a look there as well. I'll show you. It does have their logo.
I wonder where they got that done. That's cool, because that is that's one of my main instruments.
And I do play it as well. I really do put a bit of spit in there, I've got to be honest with you. But really, really nice of a band like High South. And we do go that extra mile to be able to try and cover a few people's logos, stuff like that. So if you got anything like that, my friend, anything quirky, anything, even a koozie or something like that, send it to us. We will make sure that somehow, some way, we will make sure that somebody gets to see what we're doing and promoting as many artists as we can. We absolutely love doing it. We do. And especially talented artists like yourself. Now, so looking forward to hearing all of your new music coming up. Will you come back again?
Yeah, I'd love. This was awesome. I'll do this anytime.
Brilliant, brilliant. Please keep in touch with Barbara. She is the person to know, to be very honest with you. But it is an absolute honour to have you with us. Don't go anywhere just yet. We've got a couple of more things that we're going to do. But in the meantime, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM and B.A. Robinson. Bang, bang.